What makes an anime a masterpiece? The first time I watched Run with the Wind, I was completely mesmerized by what I saw on the screen. And the only thing that I felt in my stomach was that I wanted to go run in a way where it was like I just realized that I had legs and I could use them. Anohana made me cry a lot, and it was the first time that I realized that anime wasn't just this fictional medium playing out on the screen, that it could be real. Recreators took an approach that I couldn't have even dreamed of before I watched it, and by the fifth time I was watching No Game No Life, I realized having it at a 9 was too low. Tsurezure Children is unique and simple. Hoseki no Kuni showed us what was possible with CGI, and Shokugeki captured my heart and stomach. Take notes, ladies. Ew! Season 1 of Hero Academia caught lightning in a bottle with its animation, with its world and story. Goblin Slayer and Shield Hero were brutal. Orosuki is literally me. It's just a story about me. Akudama Drive bleeds style. Oshinoko is a roller coaster of emotion. Skate the Infinity is completely beyond understanding. Wait, how the hell did High School DxD get on here? Shown in my 30s? I must have been hammered. I have 25 entries on my anime list at a 10 out of 10. And if you asked me what made them go there, I would give you a ton of responses, but they're all unique for each show. So what really makes something a masterpiece? What makes it a 10 out of 10? I mean, I have a ton of 8s and 7s and quite a few 9s, but 10 is special. 10 is a show that really reaches out to you in some way, shape, or form. A show that really achieves perfection in what it intends to do. And well, I had 25 entries at a 10 out of 10. Hello, welcome back to Binging Last Season. This week, we're talking about Kaiju number 8.
Spin that motherfucker back and let's pop off.
Minimal spoilers, apart from the fact that at this point, you know, I gave Kaiju number 8 a 10 out of 10, but let me tell you why. It's just so good. Manga lovers have been hyping this bad boy up for ages, but that doesn't always work well. I thought Record of Ragnarok was one of the greatest things I've ever read and one of the only things I've ever read, and unfortunately the adaptation didn't do it justice, but this time around, I can see why the manga lovers were so excited for this to come out. Kaiju number 8 is set in an alternate reality modern Japan, where the real monsters all along weren't people, but literal monsters who show up every once in a while and wreck shit. It follows our main character, Hibino Kafka, who is a cleaner for the destroyed monster parts, and he's always wanted to join the Monster Defense Force, this group with technologically advanced weaponry that takes out the kaiju when they show up. And that is all I'm going to tell you. I knew a little bit about Kaiju number 8 going into it, so I had a lot of preconceptions about where the story was going to go and what turns it was going to take and how certain characters were going to end up in certain places, and I was wrong on almost everything. Now, a story doesn't have to outwit your assumptions about the way that it's going to go in order for it to be good, but this one does, and every choice that they made was better than everything that I thought was going to happen in the series. And lest you forget, I am a fantasy fan. I stan all of the fantasy bullshit, and this isn't exactly my cup of tea when it comes to the futuristic setting and the tech and whatnot, but it didn't matter with this one. Every complaint that I could have had, every preference that I have, just meant nothing in the face of this extremely well-written and all-around fun show. The pacing doesn't stop to catch its breath for even a second. I mean, every moment of the show, every minute was full of something that kept your attention on the screen, and by the end of episode 1, I was fully locked in. And speaking of the end of episode 1, color me surprised when for the outro, they got One Republic to do the song, which is kind of crazy. It seems like they paired up with Universal Music Group to get One Republic for the outro and Youngblood for the intro. And while I'm definitely not partial to the intro in particular, it's a lot of fun seeing the CGI, you know, the different style that they do for the animation in the intro, while the outro, I listened to it at least like 4 or 5 times during the series, and the moments where I wasn't too excited and needed to press the next episode button, the outro is fantastic, and I'm surprised they got One Republic to do it. It's not necessary. I like the Japanese music that they do for the outros most of the time, the intros, but it was interesting to see him just having an English speaker on the outro. I don't know, it's fun, and it's wild. It's like, oh, that's One Republic. I listened to them on the radio, and now they're in one of my favorite anime. That's sick. And the song is great. And as far as the animation goes, holy Sakuga Batman, because it's beautiful. I mean, it's every action scene in this show is beautiful to look at. It's expertly choreographed. I could rant about it for at least 10 minutes, but I'm really trying to make sure that this video only goes to the 8-minute mark for the bit. I desperately wanted to rate this show an 8 because it would be perfect. But unfortunately, it was just too good and fantastic, and I can't do the meme.
Oh, fuck.
And the last thing I want to talk about is the payoff for the long intro of this video. Why do I think that this show is a 10 out of 10? How did I know that it was a 10 out of 10? Why is anything a 10 out of 10? I shouldn't be asking that question because I run a YouTube channel based on assigning numbers to media. So I should be able to answer that, I think. Most of the time when I'm watching anime, and especially when I'm watching an anime that I'm planning on reviewing for binging last season, I have a number in mind through most of the runtime. I figure out what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and just a feeling that I have where this anime sits in terms of how I would rate it out of 10. And then based on the ending, it can stay the same, it can get bumped down, or it can get bumped up a number. Generally, that's how I do things. But with Kaiju number 8, my mind was completely blank. At no point while I was watching it was I even thinking about a number, was I even thinking about a rating. I was just watching it the whole time, bewildered and just enjoying the absolute shit out of it. And by the time I finished episode 12, the only thing that I was thinking, the only thought that even crossed my mind was, I want to watch this again. I want to start back from episode 1 and I want to watch it again. That's how much I enjoyed it. The moment it was done, I was like, we got to do this again. That's just the feeling I had. It's that desperate desire to just go back to the start. Granted, it was like 5 a.m. at this point, so it was a really bad idea, but I still wanted to do it. I had this feeling in my veins like, that was unbelievable. Let's run it back immediately. And when it comes to Kaiju number 8, that's my reasoning. That's how I know that this show is a 10 out of 10. It's just unbelievably good. I already want to watch it again, and I'm so excited for season 2 whenever that comes out. Please, Japan, no economic collapse, season 2 when. So that's Kaiju number 8. Did you enjoy it as much as I did? If you did, make sure you leave a comment in the comments and tell me what you thought about it, but try not to spoil anything too much. I enjoyed the absolute shit out of it. You're not allowed to have a different opinion, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.